I think it's the age of 2 or 3. I don't know. Where as a child you get to recognize that you do exist as a child. You can tell when you're hungry. You can tell the difference between right and wrong. And I'm a firm believer that what you're exposed to at the age of 2 or 3 tends to really shape your life, because that's your first impression of life. You know, it's like maybe first time when you get to use your taste buds, you taste something sweet. So you have that thing, you know, maybe life is sweet. But then I think on my side, I usually tell people to say my first impression was a bitter one, to the point whereby, because first time when age of 2 or 3, I was staying with my aunts. I was staying at my grandmother's place, and my aunts were very abusive towards me, because then at the age of 5, no, at 5 months old, that's when my father passed. So it's one thing that, you know, when the father passes, all the kids must go stay at the father's house. So my father passed when I was also only 5 months old, so I've never had a father figure in me. So then I guess I've been staying at my grandmother's place ever since at the time until I went to grade 1. So then I grew up around a place that was very abusive. You know, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing that you are told is how ugly you are, how you look, because, you know, yeah, the aunt I just did not understand, how do you get to hate someone who's 2 or 3, a child, something like that. Yeah, so I did not really understand, but it's something that I think to a certain extent shaped who I was. Because then at school, you start becoming a bully. I was a bully in primary school because I had a lot of
Real?
anger. Yeah, I was a bully in high school. I mean, primary school, because when you go home, you are getting abused, you're getting beaten, you're getting being told everything. When you told how useless you are, you're gonna grow up to work for our kids. Those are the words that I was getting. So now when you get to school, I feel like that's the only time that you get to have a voice, because now you're amongst your peers. So now that anger that you have, you end up expressing on your peers at school or something like that. And then years moved by, and then now time came for me to go stay at where I'm currently staying, Northwest, at my mother's place. And then when I arrived there, already my little sister was already in the picture. So, and then, but my mother was working for the white people. She was working at the farms. She was a domestic worker there. So she was barely ever around. So now I was staying with my big sister, my big brother, my big sister's partner, the kids, and all that. So my mother was always away. So now the environment changes, but you still have that lot of anger in you. So growing up, I was a very isolated person. I did not have friends, especially in primary school. During break time, I always be alone, because I just felt like nobody understand me. You get my point? Especially because I'm surrounded by everybody that speaks about things that I cannot relate to. You know, at primary school, we will always boast about, hey, my mother bought me this, me. But so for me, I cannot talk about those things because I cannot relate. So now I moved to my mother's place. I think that was in 2011. And then 2014, I think I was doing grade 6 by then when my mother passed. And then when my mother passed, that's when life started becoming really tough, because my mother was our breadwinner. So she was our breadwinner. She got sick, she came home, and then when she passed, life became really tough. You know, the families that my mother, when she comes December, people will come visit, she'll give them everything. Everybody disappeared.
What you said? What grade is this?
It was in grade 6.
Grade 6.
Yes, when my mother passed. I still remember it was around June. I was preparing for my June exams.
So this age 10, is this age 10?
Grade 6, I think I was 12.
12.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Grade 6, I was 12. That was back in 2014. Yes, I was 12 at the time, and then that's when my mother passed. Then at the time, so then life became really tough. It became really tough because as much as my mother was a domestic worker, the white people she was working for, they were very good people, because they will give us clothes. When it's December, they will even buy us toys. So quite had a lot. I had bags full of clothes because they were really spoiling my mother. They were very good people. So then when my mother passed, all of that now it's gone. You know, you don't get that anyway. So now my sister now had to now apply for social grant for us, you know, all those type of, and she was alone while going through all of this. We have uncles, we have aunts that are nowhere to be found. So then my sister decided also, because life was tough now, decided to start selling alcohol, a home brewed alcohol, Jabulani,
What's the
ginger.
age gap between you and the sister?
Okay, so there's actually 5 of us. So our eldest brother, who also passed, he passed in 2009. Our eldest brother.
Bro, you've had so much death experience, eh?
Yeah, Yes. So when my big brother passed, I was in grade 1.
Mm.
And also with that, my aunts they refused to let me go to my brother's funeral, my eldest brother's funeral, because they were like, "What do you know about funerals and all those type of things?" And I remember crying so hard. I wanted to go because my big brother was going. Yeah,
Mm.
and then they refused to let me go. But yeah, it was my eldest brother. There's 5 of us. My eldest
Mm.
brother, and then it's my big sister, and then I have another big brother. Then it's me,
Mm-hmm.
and then so the age gap between me and my big sister is 12 years.
The one who started an alcohol business.
Yes, the
Okay, yeah.
second born. Yeah. And then the one between my big brother, the one that I come after, it's 5 years. It's 5 years old. So that's 5 years gap between us.
Okay, let's go back. She started an alcohol business.
Yes. She started an alcohol business, selling Jabulani. So then we started just so that we can actually keep up because that's only the social grant and then the money
Wait,
from them.
Jabulani is the traditional alcohol. Is it the one that is inside
You buy in
the
a packet.
boxes?
It's in a packet. So yellow
Oh,
packet Jabulani, you can actually find it in the shop. So
yeah.
you mix it with sugar. You brew it and then you put it in the blankets and then 24 hours then you can start selling
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like, is it like umqombothi?
Yes, it's
Okay,
like that.
okay, okay.
Yes. So yeah, sure. Then she started selling that, and then again we become a laughing stock amongst your friends because at your house, at your home, they sell Jabulani. So now even at school, you start really becoming insecure about certain things. When people are talking about school trips, you cannot relate. I've never been on a school trip, by the way, because even if it was 150, it was too much for me to pay. I would not even bother asking my sister for it because when people are going for trips, I've never been on a school trip. The issue of carrying pocket money to school, I did not know anything about those things because
Fancy.
exactly I did not know anything about the things of carrying money to pocket money to school. So at school I will help the Abu Mama that are dishing up for us so that you help them carry things, you help them dish up in different classes. Then when you go to the kitchen, your plate is gonna be here. So you are eating because you know that when you get home there might not be food when you get at home. So then also some of my classmates, also those ones especially that had money that did not eat the school food, they'll go buy a quarter. You tell them, no, at least get one for me, then you can go to get for you. So always have extra plates when you're at school, you're eating. So I was that type of boy. Yeah, so